The Climate Resilient Water Sector Project in Grenada, shortened GCRUS, which most of you would have heard about, is jointly financed by the Green Climate Fund, the German Federal Ministry for the Environment, Nature Conservation, Nuclear Safety and Consumer Protection, under its International Climate Initiative, ICI, and the Government of Grenada. We continue with the implementation of activities under this Challenge Fund for Agriculture, which is subcomponent 2.1 of the project. And this is being implemented by the Grenada Development Bank in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources, and the German Corporation for International Development, or GIZ, as we refer to them. So the Challenge Fund for Agriculture seeks to promote the adoption of water-efficient solutions in the agricultural sector, which relies heavily on the availability of water resources by providing solutions that minimize the impact of severe dry season and droughts. In particular, water scarcity in the dry season is expected to increase with climate change, resulting in significant reduction in productivity and an increase in financial losses within the sector. And so the Challenge Fund for Agriculture provides water audits to comprehensively assess the water efficiency of farms, also to make recommendations for farm-specific solutions, and to monitor the installation of these water-efficient systems. The Challenge Fund for Agriculture also provides equipment grants to cover the initial investment for water-efficient equipment for farmers who are required to provide transportation costs for the equipment to their farms and to cover the cost of installation. These equipment grants were initially approved at 50% of the equipment cost at the beginning of the project, which includes for rainwater harvesting, efficient micro and drip irrigation systems, ponds, and shade houses. However, the economic conditions coming out of the COVID pandemic resulted in approval being sought for an increase of the grant. And so the equipment grant moved from 50% to 100% upon approval by the Green Climate Fund. Can we put our hands together? Yeah. So to date, we have 245 farmers, including 29 in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, who have been assessed to participate in the Challenge Fund for Agriculture, with critical support being provided by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs, who would have received training during the inception stage of the project. And so while there have been significant challenges experienced over the implementation period, don't know why they call it Challenge Fund, we are happy to be at this stage of the project where farmers are already receiving tangible benefits at this time. To date, the procurement of rainwater harvesting systems is ongoing, and a total of 40 farmers have received over 122,000 gallons of water storage capacity. In addition, some of these farmers would have received materials, fittings, and plumbing supplies to set up these systems, including material costs for catchments and bases. And so the implementation of rainwater harvesting is ongoing. This week, a public tender was issued to local suppliers for the procurement of an additional 150 1,000-gallon tanks, which would be provided to farmers under this portion of the project. A similar tender is expected to be placed by the end of March for a similar amount of tanks. And so today we are at an important milestone, the fulfillment of a contract valued at almost $700,000 between the Grenada Development Bank and F&N Farm Supplies and Sourcing Limited for the first batch of irrigation equipment, which is expected to benefit approximately 74 farms. This is timely as farmers prepare to face the coming dry months, and we look forward to farmers being able to receive and implement their equipment in short order. A second batch of irrigation equipment of approximately similar size will be placed very early in the second quarter for the remaining farmers who are benefiting under the program. 2 demonstration farms were selected for training for designated installers, farmers, and staff of the Extension Division. And we have one of those farmers today who we'll hear from later on. And this was jointly facilitated by the CFA irrigation expert, FNN Farm Supplies, and the Ministry of Agriculture's technical staff during the month of January. We are currently also finalizing technical specifications for an initial pilot of small-size shade houses, which is also expected to be tendered by the end of March. Just as a note, shade houses, which are individually a significant investment, comprise almost half of the overall program budget. That's for the Challenge Fund, to an amount of excess of $3.7 million. So the pilot would commence shortly, and thereafter, we would procure the remaining shade houses. So this is just a brief summary of the Challenge Fund for Agriculture and where we are at this point in time. We are grateful for the support of all our partners who continue to walk with us along this implementation journey. We would have loved for it to have been a sprint, but unfortunately it's been a marathon. And so I want to take this opportunity as well to thank the farmers for their patience. I know they've been waiting quite a while for us to get to this stage, and I look forward to even greater collaboration among our partners as we continue to forge ahead with the remaining activities under the Challenge Fund. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.